There's no 35-second wait time, so it's pure, it's fair, and they're about to get started. Looks like Kyle is slightly ahead, so I will pause his stream for just a second or two. Okay, it looks like we were pretty close to synced right there. TYG already getting a mushroom. We'll be able to cut that last turn of Luigi Raceway and do the mystery boost. Kyle not getting any speed items yet, it doesn't look like. We'll have to worry about getting rid of those shells and the bananas. Those are kind of two of the worst items you could possibly get, so not a great start for Kyle, but... Oh, and Kyle spins out there. I'm assuming a banana slip. I didn't see what happened. Yeah, Kyle really he's not getting much of anything, and can be tricky to lay down items and not hit them yourself sometimes. It's just natural to want to lay those items down on your own line. Kyle getting a mushroom, so this is a little more fair now. Should be able to close the gap on lap 3. And he does use that mushroom in the spot we expected. Fairly tight there. Kyle getting a 138.10 and TYG coming in at a 139 low. So Kyle with about a second lead to start this match. But a long way to go. There are 16 tracks in this run, so... And they will begin the shortest track of the run. With this track, it really comes down to the moles, and the moles are completely random. So there's no way to predict them or anything, and if these players want to go as tight as possible, they're going to have to drive over some of these molehills. In a race situation, though, usually you see people not take those kinds of risks, but it can be very tight. As you can see, Kyle going around the outside of the moles there. They will cut inside for the first batch, but they're not. If they do it correctly, they won't actually be driving over any holes. So. Coming around on lap 2, no speed items for either player. Oh, TYG did get a mushroom, so he will save it, I assume, for the end of the lap. That is the best spot to use a mushroom. So yeah, he'll cut in here, and then he'll probably dip down, go around everything, yes, and use the shroom. Very nice. And that'll get him a 111.69. Kyle coming through at a 112.95. So TYG making up that second he lost on the first track and may even be slightly in the lead right now. The next track will be KOOPA TROOPA Beach. This is actually a pretty important track of the run because if you miss the ramp jump, which is considered non-shortcut, it can cost you a lot of time, especially if you don't do the backup. Both of these players definitely capable of doing the backup. But it's not free by any means. I'm not sure if TYG does have his mic on or not. I know Kyle does. So, SpeedGaming is not responsible for any profanity, and if that happens, it in no way reflects SpeedGaming in the channel. As you can see, TYG getting the star, which is via item manipulation. He got an 8th place item in first place, and the star is the best item you can get for that. So these players are really fishing for those stars, and even the golden mushroom helps a lot. TYG going for that item manipulation. Again, gets another star. Wow. The dream RNG start. Kyle unfortunately gets a lightning, which is in versus mode a good item, but not in this mode. TYG has opened this lead up via RNG. But both players hitting the jump every lap. A 1:15.64. He's got to be happy with that. That's a good time. Kyle coming through at a 1:21. Not shabby either. TYG did gold split on that run. Kalimari Desert is a very interesting course of the run, so it kind of depends. There's two strategies here. You can play it conservative and go behind the trains, or you can try to do a train gap, which is a very tight trick where you drive in between the carts. So Kyle getting a mushroom early, I would expect him just to go slow and wait. Oh, he's going to use it right away. Okay, so that's interesting from Kyle. I'm not sure if he meant to do that. If he did, look for him to potentially even go for the train gap. TYG's coming around on lap 2, so we'll see if he goes for it as well. TYG is going to go for it. Oh, and he misses it. Kyle, let's see what he does. He also is going to go for it. Oh, and he was so close, but he misses it as well. TYG does get around that second train, which is a pretty important, actually. Kyle's going to be in a... Kyle gets around it too. Okay, so these players, I think, have rightfully figured out that the risk reward for the train gap is a very good decision. Kyle, a bit of a hiccup there spinning out. Oh, I'm sorry. It's too... Okay, the timer looks to be messed up. Okay, so these guys will reset after this cup, and they don't have to watch the trophy ceremony or anything. And they will move on to Flower Cup, Toad's Turnpike. Yeah. Okay, timers... Hopefully everyone can see all the numbers now. Sorry about that. As they're off on Toad's Turnpike. As you can see, Kyle getting a mushroom right away. Unfortunately, this isn't the best track to get mushrooms, but mushrooms are always good as they save time. It's just that one particular mushroom doesn't cut off a lot of distance. There's no corners really to cut, so you just get that benefit of going faster. So it won't save that much time comparative to other courses, but always nice to get a mushroom. Also, boos aren't so bad on this track either, as you can take inside lines instead of having to go around the buses and cars like Kyle just did. So, oh, and Bowser just got smashed on Kyle's screen. Did you guys see that? That was... Bowser got wrecked. Also, for the random people that may not be as experienced with this game or familiar with watching Mario Kart 64, these guys do these make these mini turbos look easy, but doing mini turbos on straightaways can be very technical and can take a long time to really even be able to do, but definitely be able to do well as Kyle navigates in between those tight blue trucks right there. TYG still holding on to a little bit of a lead. Actually, I would call it a comfortable lead at this point. No real big mistakes from either player. Pretty good driving. Oh, as Kyle hits a banana there, but recovers nicely. TYG coming through at a 225 mid. Kyle will come through at it also a 225.8, so very close race. TYG maintaining that lead. As we move on to Frapp Snowland, yes, he goes for the start AB spin. Does it pretty well. Kyle doing the same. Very nice. TYG picking up a boo will allow him to get safely through this snowman field. Kyle picking up a mushroom, even better, because mushrooms save a lot of time on this course. It is a little bit risky, but yeah, he will use it here to cut off this whole area. And yeah, very nicely done. He will inch a little bit closer. TYG getting a red shell. It's not going to help him much. See if Kyle can pick up another mushroom. No, he gets a green shell. So these players will just drive normally for a little while. $33.28 on that lap for TYG as Kyle about to come through. Oh, he hits a banana at the end of the lap. That'll slow him down just slightly, but he does recover. 34-second lap. Oh, and TYG spinning out through the snowman. I didn't see what happened there. Sometimes on 150 you can spin yourself out. It's the only mode you can do that in. Most people don't like that very much. It definitely adds to the struggles of 150cc. So TYG comes through with a 139.8. Kyle, it looks like, is going to be a little bit slower. Yeah, 146. So he loses another slightly under a second there. As we head to Chaco. Oh, I'm sorry about the timers, guys. Jeez. Okay, well, there shouldn't be any more numbers, hopefully, if there's decent driving, so we should be good there. Okay, so TYG finishing up lap 1, came through at looked like a 31, I think. Kyle coming through at a 32. This course, there aren't too many problems. There is no guardrail in this mode, so you can technically fall off, but you don't see it very often. There is a boulder also that can smash you, but again, the cycle is pretty slow, so you don't see that too often either. You can see some of the rubber banding in this game is kind of crazy. Wario right behind TYG, and it's not because he's driving poorly. It's just a mechanic in this game. Certain tracks, the computer players, although Chaco Mountain isn't normally a really bad track known for that, but Wario right on his tail comes through at a 135.69. Kyle coming through at a 137, so we'll drop a little bit more time. And really, so far, it just seems like TYG is just gaining a little bit of time on every single track. Kyle's going to need to turn that around or hope for a mistake at some point, but we still have a long way to go. Mario Raceway is a really interesting track of this run because these players can go for an item manipulation, but it does require going a slower route, so not everyone does it. TYG is taking that item manipulation route, so let's see if he can get an 8th place item, maybe a star, but he misses the item boxes, so can't go for it now. Kyle is not going for it. He will drive normal. So just driving normal, he should pick up some time. TYG getting a ghost, which is great because you can go through this mushroom cut, no risk. No risk of spinning out on that mushroom. He takes the normal route. Lap 3, I would expect them both to take the normal route as well. Kyle also getting a ghost, so this is a fair race again, and he will be able to use that ghost on the mushroom cut as well. Oh, I'm sorry. He obviously is going to go for the item glitch. I guess he took that route. I wasn't paying attention, but does not get anything worthwhile. TYG is going to finish up at around a 115 and reset and move on to Star Cup Wario Stadium. As Kyle finishes up with also a 115. It looked like a slightly slower 115, but a very close race. So we are halfway through, but all the long courses are still to come. So there's still plenty of time for lead changes and for Kyle to catch up for sure. Also, some of the tougher tracks are definitely still looming, where people can easily fall off and lose a boatload of time. Kyle getting a banana, not going to do him much help. Some tracks are great, actually, to get a banana because it reduces so much lag, and with these players playing on console, that's actually very important. But this isn't really one of them. A banana is pretty much a throwaway item here. Also, if you're familiar with some of the time trials of this game, if you've seen people play on this track, this is a very technical track, and there are a lot of very tough mini-turbos to do around some of the turns. These players may be going for a couple less mini-turbos than they normally would, just being in 150cc and driving faster, so it's tougher to pull off those mini-turbos, and really just not worth the risk in a race situation of potentially spinning out. Kyle coming through at a low 112. I didn't catch TYG's time. Oh, and Kyle gets lightninged. Very unfortunate. That's the first lightning of the run. You hate to see it. But unfortunately, oh, and he tumbles on the wall. That's not good. So yeah, lightning normally costs you around 4 to 5 seconds. So it's definitely a killer. It's completely RNG. The last place CPU has a 1 in 100 chance of getting a lightning. So it's unlikely that someone would get lightning, but over the course of this race, I would say on average it probably happens 1 or 1.5 times. TYG driving well, not making any big mistakes. Definitely on the right side of RNG this run. TYG, oh, and he goes for all the mini turbos, and there's the AB YOLO spin start that he's so well known for. I'm glad we got to see that at some point today. But yeah, actually, I should mention that TYG is not one to play conservatively most of the time. So he just likes to go for it. So he's really a really fun player to watch in Mario Kart 64. And he will come through with the 337. We'll see how much time Kyle dropped with that lightning earlier. It's 340. Okay, so not too bad. It definitely helped him that TYG spun out on the last lap. But as they move on to Sherbert Land, these penguins are on cycles, so the players know where they're going to be. Oh, look at that start by TYG. You got to love that. But yeah, as I was saying, they know the cycles, but one little spin out and it throws everything off, and you don't know where anything's going to be, and it can be very scary. Now, TYG picking up a boo, that's going to help him get through safely if he wants to use it, or it looks like he's going to save it for lap 2, or maybe even lap 3. We'll have to see. Kyle just getting shells, firing them off. If you fire a green shell backward in this game, it cannot hit you. Even if you come across it later, it'll just go right through your cart. Just an interesting tidbit there. As TYG making it into the cave on lap 2, probably the most dangerous part of the lap. He does elect to use that ghost, and we'll get through cleanly. Kyle's still not getting a mushroom. I feel like it's been a while since he's gotten a good item. Oh, and he spins out. Unfortunate there. As a red shell passes on TYG's screen, he picks up a mushroom. The good luck continues, and he will use the shroom to get through. Kyle still not getting anything. And TYG will come through with a 135.52. I imagine he will be pretty happy with that. Kyle taking a conservative crack jump at the end, comes through at a 139.88. And we move on to Royal Raceway, the third longest track in this game. And so a big part of this track is the part TYG's on right now, that hairpin turn. How tight they take that can save a lot of time if you do it well. So that's an important part, and if the players get a mushroom, it actually cuts a lot of time. They'll use it on the spot TYG just hopped around. TYG also getting a boo. You can technically do an item manipulation at the finish line on this track for an 8th place item. So he will go for that, and this is not a track you see it too often, but we might see the rare star on Royal Raceway. Will we see it? Oh no, he just picks up a banana, so unfortunate there. Kyle does pick up a mushroom, so he will save it for that the mushroom spot, which is right before the long straightaway, before the ramp. TYG slightly getting hung up there on the wall, but not too much time lost there. Oh, and TYG gets lightning. So the first kind of bad luck for TYG this run is DK zooms on past him. DK kind of in the way right there. TYG makes his way around him. DK, notorious for trolls in this game, has caused some players some struggling, even in these matches. So But again, no big mistakes so far, which is what you want at this point in the run. Don't, as TYG, as I say that TYG hits a banana, but banana hits aren't all that bad. So TYG comes through at a 228. Kyle, I assume, yeah, Kyle will beat that time. Let's see by how much. 222. Okay, so he gains a sizable chunk back, 6 seconds. And as some people would say, now the race begins. Now we get into the hard tracks. We get into possible big time losses. Yeah, it can. Bowser's Castle may be the toughest course of this run, as these thwomps are on cycles, but there's so many of them, and the spaces are so tight, and the CPUs will put items down, and on these narrow pathways, it can be really tough to avoid items here. And just one banana hit, as you can see TYG spinning out just from driving there on the stair section. But yeah, just one banana hit, you can fall into the lava and just, like I said earlier, lose like 8 to 10 seconds. And sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. So TYG, though, making it through lap 1 with the 39. So if Kyle had a good lap, he should make up time here. Yeah, coming through at a 37.6, so another 1.5-second gain for Kyle. As he picks up a mushroom. So mushrooms are pretty big on this course as well, but they can throw off. Oh, and Kyle spinning out but doesn't get crushed by the thwomp actually could be pretty important, as he doesn't lose that huge amount of time. So yeah, mushrooms are nice, but sometimes if you go a particular route, you'll be too fast, and then the thwomps will be off, and it kind of screws everything up. TYG just gets through that thwomp in the sliding room, so he is pretty home free for the rest of the race, or should be. Kyle getting smashed this time by the thwomp. That's going to be a big time loss. TYG coming through at a 154. Bowser right on Kyle's tail this race. Also Luigi out ahead. It's rare you see these guys not get first, but it can happen sometimes. This Kyle will reset, so it looks like it might be about a 15 to 20 second lead, I'm guessing, for TYG. I guess we'll see when Kyle gets started here. Yeah, so it looks like about a 23-second lead for the young guns. So I'm sure these guys are watching each other's streams. So I would expect at this point, with only 4 races to go, Kyle to take some risks and maybe TYG to play conservative. Maybe? I don't know. We will see. But so TYG picks up a banana, which is actually a great item on this course. There's so much lag on this track. Just holding a banana or something that zooms the camera out will save you like 4 seconds throughout the course of the track. So mushrooms are great as well. There are some great spots to use a mushroom here, but bananas work just as well. So that's why you see both players using those bananas. TYG hopping up the cave there. Also, with this jump, you can go pretty far to the left, but if you try to go too far, you won't make it. So, calculated risks from these players, trying to cut off a little bit, but not risk going in the water. Nice jump from Kyle there as TYG finishes up with a 157 low. Kyle looks like he's going to get close to the same time, maybe a little bit faster. Yeah, 156 high for Kyle. Unfortunately, he's saving time, but it's really not enough. There's only 3 tracks left, so Yoshi Valley is gonna. Yoshi Valley could be a very important track for Kyle. They will do what is a hairpin jump, which is considered non-shortcut. TYG is about to attempt it right now. Does it perfectly, but if you miss that hairpin, it's very easy to fall off, and that can cost you around 8 to 10 seconds. So these guys actually go the second fastest route, although you might see them switch it up. But yeah, if they're going to the right and then they go across this bridge on TYG screen, they are going the second fastest route, the fastest route being the one with all the black spinies. But there's a lot of risk with that one. Kyle picking up a shroom, which is good for him because shrooms cut off quite a bit. And he can use it right here. He doesn't have to hold on to it, which is always nice. Everyone's hit the hairpin so far, so... Oh, Kyle picking up a ghost on lap 2, which is actually really good because he can now go the fastest route with those spinies and not be at risk. TYG attempting the hair jump lap 3, and he hits it. 3 out of 3 hairpins, very nice. As you can see Mario on the back of TYG. Oh, and he hits DK. He was going too fast. He lapped DK, and that's the bridge where DK has been known to cause problems in the Mario Kart community. But comes through with a good time of a 134. Kyle hits it lap 3. Everyone hitting hairpin. Very nice, guys. So TYG got a 134. It looks like Kyle's going to gain some more time, though. 132. Okay, so another 2 seconds. Look at that start from TYG. He's the only player I know that does it like that. Pretty crazy. So yeah, Banshee Boardwalk. There are a lot of places you can fall off, and on lap 2, the CPUs like to lay a lot of items right before the bat house area, which is a part where there's no guardrail. So big things can happen on this track as well. But if TYG can get through this race... oh, and he takes the crack jump too far and falls off. This could be what Kyle needs to get back into this race. Also, something to keep in mind, I doubt it'll be a problem, but if you don't get at least 4th place, you will have to retry the track. And that pretty much guarantees victory for your opponent, at least at this level. So TYG does pick up a mushroom. Kyle also has a mushroom. And this is the part on Kyle's screen where, yeah, sometimes they lay a bunch of items on that part, but Kyle gets through clean. TYG spinning out before the bat house, but nothing too major. Okay, so some issues for TYG, but he gets through, and he will have a solid lead going into Rainbow Road. Kyle hitting the wall a little bit there at the end, but will definitely make up some time. Coming through at a 146. I didn't catch TYG's time, but I'd imagine he's still probably around 11 seconds back, 12 seconds back. So that's a lot of time to gain on Rainbow Road. These chomps are a thing on Rainbow Road, but they are on cycles, and they only really cost you like 2 seconds, maybe 2.5 seconds if you hit them. So there would have to be a lot of chomp hits on TYG's side, but you never know. You know, someone could get lightninged and hit a couple chomps, and it could be very close all of a sudden. We'll just have to see. For the most part, people don't really go off the road on Rainbow Road. There are guardrails, so. Kyle picks up a shroom. That'll help. We'll see if he saves it for the main time trial shroom spot, or if he just starts spamming shrooms and hopes he gets a lot of them. Being behind, I could see it either way. Actually, he's so close to this spot. Yeah, he's just going to wait for it. Kyle throwing a banana forward and hitting it himself. So as you can see on the part TYG just passed, these players try to stick to the ground at the beginning of the race. If you just drive normally, it'll actually make you go in the air, but you go slower in the air in this game. So that's why you see them brake or ease off the gas, and then triple tap A, which gives you that fast acceleration. And if done successfully, you stick to the ground and you get a big speed boost. Yeah, so it looks like TYG had a 15-second lead before the race. I didn't catch the lap 1 splits, so that can kind of tell you. If we knew the lap 1 splits, we would know how far he is ahead. But I don't want to call it early, but I think it would be tough for Kyle to catch up at this point, as TYG picks up another shroom. TYG kind of in an awkward spot to use the shroom though. He just passed the good spot, so. Oh, and Kyle hits a chomp. That's probably about going to do it for Kyle, unfortunately. TYG coming through at a 136. Looks like he's going to elect to hold on to that mushroom. Yeah, Kyle getting a 139, so he lost like 3 seconds just on lap 2 with that chomp hit. Yeah, here's the spot for TYG. Uses the shroom, very nice. Kyle's getting a lot of bananas. Let's see if he feeds DK. Yeah, he does. Wow, he hit like 10 shots in a row. That might be a record, guys. The swag strats. As TYG now hits the home stretch. Kyle picks up a mushroom, but TYG is going to take this one and move on with a 39-49. I believe that's a PR from him, if he's not hoarding any times. So congratulations on the PR, TYG. Heck of a race. Kyle also definitely not a bad race time by any means, coming through at a 40.11. So TYG will move on and face KALIMARI, aka Luke, in the next round. I believe that's the losers semifinals. Unfortunately, Kyle is eliminated from the tournament. But if you like this kind of stuff, make sure to keep an eye out on SpeedGaming. There will be more of these matches to come for sure. If you like this stuff, also follow the players. Kyleb30 and at Lou Gaming for Twitch. I'm sure we can link some of those in the chat. I am Brian, aka BRiz879, and it was nice having you guys, and I hope you enjoyed the race. Until next time, see you guys later. Bye-bye.